Here I am again. Maybe now it's better. Let me know. I lowered the bitrate as suggested by some players. And if it's better, please let me know. Then I don't start over with the setup. Maybe just a little bit about Paul's deck. It's a one flip Diplo deck, which wants to set up Celebration fast, which has a lot of defensive interrupts. Quirin has to make pressure. Quirin has to have answer for the tricks, for the it's a trap, for the dodge, maybe for the celebration. And yeah, then we will see. Maybe he can get a beatdown in to surprise Paul, but he plays 2 gigs at least, I think, at least in the builds he usually plays. And he gave him a free Emperor. He wants to save shields. Maybe he doesn't play any shield puller. So maybe I open the stream in background for myself so that I can read your comments and answer them, and not always have to close the window. So the good thing for Quirin is turn 1, he hit his side. This is a crucial side to get the other sides out. And he also open-handed, I think, this Imperial Square. And Paul got his starship with Quadrant assignments, and I think he hasn't delivered the plans yet. No, he hasn't. He missed Alderaan, as we can see. And for the agents, he made Marachade with Lightsaber his first agent, and the Young Thrawn his second agent. So he probably plays Jabba's cruiser. Yeah. So, as I think, this is a very hard matchup for AOBS, especially if he doesn't have an answer for Celebration. And he has to get rid of Luke to get at least the ping damage, but it's difficult with a lot of defensive interrupts, and Paul plays the old Luke most of the time. He had the Rebel Scout, he switched to the old Luke, which is very hard to kill. But there are options. There are options to catch him, but you have to draw twice the catch destiny, because he can let him redraw. He can cancel the game text. He can cancel the dodge, or it's a trap, and make enough overflow that Paul thinks it's not worth peeling. But he plays probably at least 2 Lukes. And yeah, Diplo, if with a Gig in hand, he can spread out pretty fast. And he also has Old Ben, but he should have a canceller for Old Ben. Quirin drew up to 16 cards in hand, and he has a pretty good activation. He's saved. He can almost activate his whole deck, and yeah. But he should not overcommit, especially with a lot of defensive interrupts. If you deploy something like a Luke, like a Boba Bounty Hunter, go all in, and then the attack gets cancelled, then you have to pay 2 the whole time, which sucks. Again, I told it by the last stream, but it was too laggy. This format is every side, Europe and the American players, can only play one deck type once. And so we have a lot of different matchups. But with a little trick, the decks were submitted in before the games, and then the opponents were drawn, which is good in my opinion, because that way everyone can play his best deck, and not, if you don't make fixed deck list before, Quirin plays Paul Myers, everybody knows Paul plays Diplo, you can take heavily for it, Or Paul has to say, I don't play Diplo, although I would love to play it, but I know the opponent knows I will play it, which also sucks. And Europe is up 1 game. I won against Hayes yesterday with my T2O against Let the Wookiee Win. So it's either 1-1 after this game or 2-0. Maybe Europe can make 12-0, then I have to start next year with my 12-0 account. If I am in the team again next year, for sure. So here is Alderaan deployed from reserve. But still very low on activation. That's the downside for not playing Chandrilla, where you get the plus activation if you move your Attentive over. Although it's a little bit risky because you can't use the text of R2D2 to relocate him to the Dune Sea. Timus hopefully new alt 2-0. You mean 2-10 if we lose 2-10. I think when I started playing Star Wars cards 2019, I could have created an account called ON50. But now you won't see a 10 losing streak. Luckily you don't see my face where I'm smiling all the time. So there is the Luke I talked about, the old Luke. We will see if he sets up celebration this turn. He will need a rebel to flip. I think Paul plays Layers Resistance Transport. In his last build he had 2 rays to pull. So you could think about, I don't know what Quirin wants to, which shields he wants to play. If there's a shield puller, he can think about pulling the free stuff, cost 2 shield. I don't know what's the name of this. Yeah. He definitely will need secret plans. Paul takes his time as always. Look at it. Turn 2, he's 4 minutes down. Maybe that's our best option. Because, as I said, I think Diplo is favored. I think heavily favored. Some may say not heavily. Just let him time out. I know both of these players. Quirin is a German fellow. And I know Paul from Marco Polo app. The most beautiful app in the world. But I'm rooting for Quirin, of course. I mean, he's Team Europe. I'm Team Europe. So Paul can win in the GAMP championship as much as he wants. but not this one, please. I mean, how can you talk so much to fill the silence in these turns of Paul Myers? It's unbelievable. So I wonder why what he grabs. I think if he wouldn't have had Luke, he probably would have grabbed Luke. Now probably either. No, he pulled Chewbacca with quite a mercenary, so probably a defensive interrupt for his Luke. Maybe it's a trap, maybe a dodge. I mean, both could be cancelled, but a dodge is much more likely to get cancelled. Maybe a barrier, but this can be sensed. I mean, Paul, we poloed yesterday. He asked me for the matchups in the Outrider Cup. I mean, he's a part of the Outrider Cup. How can he ask me for the matchups? And I said, you have to do the work alone. You have to search for the matchups, because I won't tell you the matchups, because it's highly likely that you don't search for the matchups and can't give your teammate any tips. So here's the one flip coming back. But he didn't flip because there is no rebel on the ground. Interesting. I mean, he loses the ability to get his druid down to Dune C. So if now Quirin with his 23 force blocks the Tatooine system, it's pretty hard for him to flip. He has to move the Falcon 2 turns now because he can't reach Coruscant, I think, because it's should be hyperspeed 6, yes. So I mean, it's a risk-reward play of Quirin. It could lose him the game, but it could also win him the game. Not letting Paul flip. However, Bail Organa is on the tentative, so he will draw 2 Destiny. Unless there is any Guri, but there could also be a spin. So Paul at least plays either 2 dodge and 1 it's a trap, or vice versa. He plays at least 1 old Ben. In some builds he played 2. And also against a possible Nebran slate, he also plays 1 or 2. So the half of the deck should be interrupts. With 4 saved, yeah, he could bluff, but it's a trap. But I think he has it's a trap. He should have multiple odds. Where I put Emperor down yesterday, I also had multiple defensive interrupts. And if I wouldn't have deployed him that turn, I probably couldn't have made use of him anyway, because there wouldn't have been any battleground to deploy to. So Succus, which is very nice, maybe Forlom to draw 2, but then he can't use Forlom on the ground. Here is Forlom, 2 Destiny. He can't. It's a trap the space. So ping 1 damage. If he would have had a barrier, he would have used it on Succus, I think. So there is, that's doesn't make any big of a difference. Don't know if, oh yeah, baby. But he has to, I think I wouldn't have played the Guri, because now he has to sacrifice the Boba Fett. Although Paul's destiny will be 0. For destiny, no leadership is can be played. There is no, man. I'm getting pretty excited here. Come on, 6666. That's a good one. But this gets only rid of the R2 so far. Oh, come on. 4 is not bad. But it could be a 6. It always could be a 6. Could have been worse for Paul. Could have been the game winner. But it's not. It's only 2. It's only, yeah, and probably Lando. But he can't flip now, but he has to lose the Boba Fett. Man. I can't hide my disappointment about these destinies. Would have been the fastest game Paul ever played, I think. With 30 minutes left on the clock. Never witnessed this. Yeah, and there is the 6. Yeah, there was no need for Guri. This could be a game deciding error, because he can't run away and always have, okay, he always can deploy Redders and something like that in leadership to make him only draw 1 destiny. So I think if he can't back it up, Catwool, Quirin, the system will still belong to Lightside sooner or later. But maybe he gets some free drains in. But I think Catwool realized it as soon as he deployed it. Paul would have asked for a reward. Now Paul's activation is pretty good. He can get multiple pulls. We know he has Chewie in hand. He has Leia in hand. can set up the celebration and can set up the, how it's called, the Cantina Shuffle. But he has to back up space also, and gets to 7 ability. So either he has the Cantina in hand, he activated it, or it's, yeah, that's the 2 options, because Quirin just verified the reserve deck of Paul. At Quirin at the moment, I think he's pretty safe, with maybe a barrier and a Tarkin's bounty, because he moved Virgo over to the Palpatine. Palpatine also has the option of Force Lightning, which at least is a big threat to, yeah, something with lower than 4 ability. So there is Rey. We are at 6 ability. There is the barrier. So I haven't paid attention if he... So he puts Boba Fett bounty on use pile. He lost the 2, yes. I don't even know if Quirin is playing First Strike. So this should give Quirin at least another turn where he satisfies the battle plan. Also, being at the Tatim system maybe forces Paul to deploy all his ships there. Then he will be able to satisfy battle plan very easy on Coruscant later with one of his other ships. A Grimtash. Paul, who plays that? Maybe Sense, depending on your hand. Nope. Okay, this is not good. Radus makes it greater than 7 ability, also give him the possibility to leadership, which could be sensed, of course. So it would have still be great to have this Boba Fett there. Now probably Chewie also comes down. Maybe grabbing the Cantina. Or a leadership, of course. Sakos has at least the option to reach Eldaran, which only is good for Quirin if he satisfies battle plan with another ship on his system. Yeah. But Paul has only 26 minutes left. Maybe grab Celebration. That's also a good option. At the moment. Oh. He might even want to attack now. With Radis, Han, and the 2 ability of the ship, he can attack, draw 2. He can limit him. He also could add 1 to draw 3. Because he has to get rid of this ship to be able to flip. Still no rebel on the ground though. So I saw Paul losing the We Are Doomed combo. He never played it because he played the combo gig. So maybe he plays the regular gig now? Or just, maybe it's just in for deal. Which Team Europe is not playing. I think it's not that good anymore. After the Shield Errata. Yeah, especially since the chat mentions that spin leadership could be hard, especially since Quirin lost a lot of cards to Grimtage, which made 5 cards used of his hand. So we probably see an attack here. But if he attacks, he is down to 2 force. He can't rely on it's a trap or something like that. But we can retrieve 1 now, so would be down to 1. This is so hard for AOBS. He could try to get overflow in. Baru can't dodge. But he could play a run, look, run. I mean, don't think Paul played it. He should have a spin with all these use pal pulls. It's not bad to get Calrissian back because he hasn't used his pull yet. So he deployed into space. If he grabs him with the leadership, sooner or later he can get another U-spell pull. Catwall shuffles his deck. After using Force Lightning and then trying to get Force Lightning, I haven't paid attention which was the destiny after the 5, before the 5. I think it was the 4, the Aura Sing, so wouldn't have been that bad. But after that would have come the 2 of this strange pilot, which can be pulled from the. You know what I mean. You know which pilot I mean. The one who draws a card if you deploy a Black Sun agent to the space. That's good. That's okay. So he only loses Guri here, probably. Yeah, he has to lose Guri. I think Forlam is only forfeit 3. Yes, so I hope he knows that or checks that. Banis Keek is the name. Thank you, Chris. But Paul is the first who has to forfeit. What would I want to forfeit here? So it's Radis and probably Solo. He has to forfeit Solo. There is no other option. And he still covers the 7 ability. So now, actually, Catwall should try to back up space, because if he gets rid of another characters, it will be hard again to get to 7 ability in space. But he's only down to 8 cards. He doesn't get any force pile look. He will at least ping for 3, so 2 drains and 1 card being drawn. One celebration lost from reserve. This is good. Only 1 or 2 left. I haven't paid attention enough if he draw a 1 for Destiny or lost 1 before. This is also good, giving him another 6 forfeit and the limiting of the Destiny. Has he already drawn a card? So lost 1, force drain 1. Force drain 1. Can't find it in the... Don't think he has drawn a card yet. There is at least 1 Luke left. There is at least maybe a spy left. Another Beru should be left. He usually plays 2. Then the one who draws if not able to otherwise. The one who can draw the top card of the reserve deck if you deploy him and makes attrition +1. however its name is. Now Boba Fett again would be great. He's still down 8 power. Worst case, Paul Myers limiting him to 1. He doesn't draw high enough to crack any immunity because the tentative is immune to, should be 5, yes. And this should be 4. No, 5, yeah, of course. Okay. I mean, he can't dodge away, but he can dodge to subtract 3 of the draws. Doesn't hit. I mean, that's the downside of shuffling all the time. That's good that P59 survives. I'm very sorry for my biased commentary. But I hope you understand I'm Team Europe, so I don't care if I'm biased. So it was actually, as Desai says, a good turn for Paul, because if Catwall attacks, he will have to forfeit stuff because of overflow, probably. If he doesn't attack, he can retrieve next turn by attacking with Ray. And there is the old Ben. Which is not that big of a deal. I don't think he can get any beat down here in. Maybe only if he has the Destiny Canceller. This spy. How is he called? Something with C. No celebration is really good. It's the only upside here. I mean, he's down 6. He has 10,000 lost by, and Quirin only 4. But Diplo has so much retrieving potential that it's not that big of a deal. When we tested this matchup, I think I was down 12 force and still managed to overcome that with a lot of retrieval. So we will see how much Paul is left to deploy to space. He can't use his Darken's Bounty with P59, that's sure. But he may be able to retrieve it if he got the Dr. Chili in hand. Yeah, I can do that. Gritty Jupi in 2 turns to move to Coruscant, but it gives Quirin another turn to maybe find another ship to block the Coruscant system, and he would give up the celebration for good, because then Sakkus would easily get rid of the Tantive. What do you mean with Ray's ship? Desai? You mean Leia's ship? He could deploy Leia's ship to Alderaan with a rebel and fly over to Coruscant. I never saw Paul playing that one. Never saw him playing Willard. So I think Quirin should walk into his interior side to not let Paul deploy a character there and retrieve Solo. He hasn't used Solo's game text yet, and if he controls this side, he can retrieve a Corellian, which is Solo. But probably Paul doesn't think of that. But if he thinks of that, it would give him 3 destiny in space. But the Guri is there, so... But he will get rid of Guri now, this turn. Okay, there is Leia's resistance transport. Don't know what he could pull with it. In the builds I know of him, so it's just forfeit fodder and the adding to power. This whole retrieval. Oh, true, Nick. Only if he maybe got his Calrissian, then he could use spell pull him by deploying him to the ground. But you're right. More than one, please. I don't... It's a 2. Willard is a 4? Yes. So he will lose the resistance transport in Willard, probably. And Quirin will lose Guri and Greedo, probably. I don't think he wants to peel 3 just for Greedo. How much is Guri? Is it 7? So maybe peel 2, yeah, to have another forfeit fodder. He forfeits Bale. He gives up the potential spin. But he can make it used. It's very smart, actually. Wouldn't have expected this from Paul. So if he tracks Boba Fett now and gets it into hand with his force ball pull, this would be great. He should lose Guri. Who is at the turn to forfeit? It's Paul, or the clock from Paul runs? Oh, yes. Can you say Boba Fett again? What's wrong with you, Justin? Didn't you say my English is beautiful? No, you didn't say it. And if you said it, it was just a joke, I guess. Don't think Guri is worth peeling 4 cards. Dan. He can retrieve him, maybe even with Dr. Chili, and losing a key card here. Ah, it's Stevie Getz. Baroni, my friend. You start with the same letter, so. So just for you, Mr. Baroni, Boba Fett. Aren't you Italian? Bobici di Fetto, or something like that. Down to 15 minutes, Paul. So I wonder where the cantina is. That's the problem if you don't get it fast. It's highly likely that you activate it all the time. So he did activate everything. I don't think he tracked anything there. And there comes back Bail Organa. Still has enough power there. And Quirin has to still back up space because... Or he has a gig. That's also possible. Can also run away. It's also an option. He did lose another celebration. So if he didn't retrieve anyone, it's entirely possible that it's the last celebration here. want to see Boba Fett now. But by now he should have found a leadership. If he has good destiny, what could he do? We will see. No Admiral anymore? Did he forfeit Redis? Oh, Chewbacca is up. I missed the whole thing by reading this comments of Mr. Baroni. Is it pronounced correctly? Catwall takes his time too. There are not much. I think there are not many characters left for Paul, so he could think about spreading out. Emperor seems reasonably safe. Virgo could use Tarkin's bounty still. Yeah. Come on! Give me the Boba Fett. Free retrieval. If you lost Boba, you could exchange him from his side text. But I don't think he lost him. It's not the one we want to see. Can't believe it. No Boba Fett. One space left on the suckers. If he has good destinies, he probably still should attack, I guess. But he, but only if it's enough to cover with Thrawn, because you need the Guri when he comes back with Bail again. He goes to draw. So downside is now by drawing so much cards, if you lose space and can't afford battle plan, you can't afford to drain. So it's again one retrieval by attacking for Paul and a train of 2. also possible that he has the Cantina in hand and just holds it back because he's afraid of the Cantina getting stacked. He can't hit a hit if he doesn't control Tatooine system. So Paul activated everything. Not everything, but everything he could. He was able to. Yeah. Interesting. Don't know if I would have thrown that guy away. No, I think he grabbed Bale again. I think he played the Might of the Republic. Nick. Yeah, he deploys it again. Which is currently at no use if he doesn't have a spin. If he doesn't have a spin combo. So Paul needs to spend some force here, because if not, he can't draw that many cards. And there's the celebration. So now, this can turn the favor to Paul. Unless Quirin is able to get rid of some ground stuff. But if Paul wins space, he has enough in space to shuttle down. He can land the Falcon and disembark Rey. He can land Chewie. Is Chewie still in there? I think he is, but I want to see the Destiny now, not. There is the Tracked Might of the Republic. That's something you want to have against Luke, but not as Destiny. At least it's a little bit more than Leia's Resistance transport. But he will have to lose Guri and Thrawn, probably. He can lose Guri and peel 4. He already used mid, I think, Justin, to the Beru side. He could track the hits a weapon, but it wouldn't make any use of, because if he would attack to gamble to hit him, Luke could just redraw, and for Lom to cancel the game text is, so he loses 1 force. That's good. But he will retrieve 3 next turn. Will get pinged by 4. If it's going to the time, I'm not pretty confident that Paul will lose on time because Quirin is just 3 minutes up, and we know that Paul can speed up his game, quite significantly when he's down to 2 minutes. What can he do now? Maybe set up Corazon system and fly with Sakis, because he threatens another drain of 2 there. And if he follows, he has to follow with at least 7 ability. This game makes me hungry. Don't know why. So we'll probably move P59 over to Nara if he doesn't attack him. Or to Mos Eisley. If he wants to attack, he should shuffle his deck with the Emperor, because you don't want. So now it's the 2 is on top, should be on top of the reserve deck. Or did he shuffle? Did I miss it? So, Mr. Baroni, you said he offended you to 99. In the short time I played Star Wars, I witnessed so many times where you offended other people. So, you can't hold a grudge on Paul for offending you once or twice. Justin, Boba, where would you deploy Boba? Because in space, he can't just sit there. He can't attack. He has only 2 Destiny left. Another ping. But Quirin is also at 13 minutes. There is the barrier. And the Canceller. But only 2 Destiny left to draw. And one of those should be a 2. Now he can't shuttle him up. Ah, he can. He cancelled the barrier. Moving p59 over, and then hopefully saving the 2. Yeah, probably he wanted to get the barrier. To cancel the barrier. I don't think he would have battled anyway, because he had only 2 Destiny left and wouldn't have make full use of Boba Fett. So, yeah. Paul saved 2, so he might attack. He can retrieve 4 this turn when he attacks. This is a really big turn. However, if it doesn't have the leadership, don't know if it's good to attack, because he might get down to less than 7 ability. He has only 1 pilot left on ground. He could shuttle up. Yeah, he's low on force, sure, but next turn he has the same amount of force than this turn, by losing 4. And Quirin always have to draw 1 card from his pile, so it doesn't want to make use of the use pile pull. This is a good barrier, I think, because if he doesn't attack, he doesn't retrieve another one. So Paul saved his grabber until now. He probably got to verify to know that Quirin doesn't play the Masterful Move combo, which would be really crucial in this matchup. It's still close. It's close on life force. It's close on clock, on time. Don't think he will attack now. But this gives Quirin another option to deploy another forfeit fodder. But he's also low on force. I mean, if he saves destinies. If he draws one from force pile, if he deploys, if he attacks, he might not be able to have the 2 force for Boba Fett. Also, he probably has to move. Actually, I don't think I would move with P-59. Give another chance to retrieve with Leia. I think that's one destiny too. I think he would draw 4, wouldn't he? Quirin could have had 4 destiny, but maybe he doesn't even attack in space, and that's why he... Maybe he has another Boba, but not the bounty hunter, but the Django, and as a hidden weapon. Saves 2 for trying to capture him. 1 for destiny. We will see if I had the right call with a hidden weapon. Probably not, because otherwise he probably would have attacked Luke. Oh, come on. I can't believe it. Couldn't he at once? probably worth sensing, although he would lose 2 if he has one. Because otherwise Paul will make another drain damage and retrieve 1 more. And he senses it. Dan, forgive me for my biased commentary. I already apologized. But you could have casted it. But what are you doing? Probably watching some American football, which you call football, but it's American football. It's not the real football. Every European knows that. Whew, 7 minutes for Quirin. Losing against Paul on time. I thought it's impossible. The Outrider Cup makes it possible. I mean, a lot of decisions to make, a lot of things to count in, so it's pretty easy to make misplays in a chess match like that. Because Nick says a lot of not ideal plays. Yeah, and some were not unfortunate to say, not very lucky, some draws. But still, even if he would have hit it Beru or something like that, it wouldn't have made any difference. He wouldn't have get any overflow or something like that. Wouldn't it be nice if he would have another hidden weapon? Try to lure Paul Myers to attack and then capture his Luke? Be awesome. But he would still have to hurry up. There it is! Come on. There can't be another old Ben. Is the 2 the capture? Or is it nothing happens? It's the capture. He has to redraw it. Come on. Yeah, man. Woo. Old man Luke running into his what's the right word in English? It's not game over. I mean, Quirin has only 6 minutes left, but he will only retrieve 1 next turn. Paul, he will get pinged for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is great. This is really great. And if he tracks at least a 4, he could also get rid of Leia. But the destinies on the ground are really bad, so he should maybe shuffle and then verify with Palpatine. What do you mean, Justin, with get your simmer frame out? Justin always uses slogans or slangs or wordplays which I don't understand. In every second sentence, I have to Google what he says. And most of the time, I have to Google the meaning of the sentence because you can't translate it word by word if it's, yeah, you know. Okay, now he's risking because he has to retrieve, he has to extend the game to win by time. Paul tries to win on time. Oh man. He draws 4 destiny if he takes, but they are bad destinies. Whatever you do, hurry. He shouldn't attack. If Paul draws a 5, he has to forfeit Django. But if he moves, he only needs a 4. So he probably should attack in space, but then shuttle up. I probably would have activated everything. No, he wants to attack in space. Right. So he needs... How many? Okay, there's another forfeit fodder. He could attack now. And then... But he could attack... Leia. Losing on time would be so sad at this point. Unfortunately, he can't hear us. The craziest thing would be if he doesn't even recognize it. If he times out and then writes something like lol or something like that. But he shouldn't attack at all. He should skip. He should drain. He should just pass. Spamming the pass button. Like if you don't want the opponent to know what card you have in hand where you can react to. He probably will move over with Ray just to force him to attack, to get another, or to walk. Oh, he attacks in space. Yeah, get time off the clock. It's his only chance, I guess. How much forfeit is Boba? It's a 6. Oh, he will lose Boba and Forlom. Maybe even Boba and the other ship? So he doesn't cover the 7. So I probably would get rid of my other ship and not Forlom to draw 2 destiny. But I don't want to attack. I mean, next turn I would just pass, drain. Don't think that much. Yeah, if you follow me, can shuttle up. That's right. Hurry up, Quirin. Probably that was not the right play. Probably the power, having the power would have been better. Because now he can't shuttle, and if he loses next turn space, he has to pay to drain. Oh man, this was a crucial misplay to forfeit the ship. But maybe he has a backup in hand. Hopefully he doesn't answer that now and just plays. Paul tries every trick. Maybe even. He will get battled next turn. And then he either wins in time. Oh, man. Man, my pulse is at 130. That's too much for me. Getting a heart attack. Live on stream. I think I would just pass the Destiny and forfeit my Boba Fett and then win the game. He makes move face. What? Paul? This will lose Paul the game. No, probably not. He blocks the drain. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4. But if he blocks the other, he can get enough overflow, probably. This should be the game. Yeah, Quirin's doing 6. I thought he blocks every drain to get him, but it still would have made 6. And that's GG. Bam! Europeans, 2 Americans. Oh, this was my piano. Well played. GG. A difficult matchup for AOBS. So some misplays probably on both sides. But yeah, still was enough. With 12 seconds left on the clock. I'm happy. I'm biased. But I don't care. As Mr. Baroni usually says, I don't care. And yeah, see you next time. Was fun time streaming. Very long time. I have to go to bed now. It's almost 12 o'clock here. But maybe I'll just go to work late tomorrow and let the students wait for me. No, I can't do that. Especially not if I said it here. Then they will know that it was on purpose. And this wouldn't be